Consumer Reports just shook the auto world. In their latest reliability update, they removed their recommendation from 7 different vehicles after analyzing survey data from more than 380,000 real owners. These aren't isolated complaints or internet rumors, these are repeat failures showing up across thousands of vehicles. And when the same problems keep appearing at that scale, Consumer Reports doesn't ignore it. Today, we're breaking down those models, counting them down from questionable to outright disastrous. Some of these vehicles are brand new redesigns, others were once considered safe bets. And as we move closer to the top of the list, the failures get worse. Not just annoying issues, but breakdowns that can leave you stranded. Make sure you stick around, because number 4 is a 3-row SUV that suffered a fuel pump failure, followed by a battery failure, then a transmission failure, a transfer case failure, and more, all on the same vehicle. Number 7. The Chevrolet Traverse is a major one to talk about. For 2024, it entered its 3rd generation with a full ground-up redesign, and GM made a huge deal out of it, branding it as a mini Tahoe. The longtime V6 was dropped in favor of a turbocharged 2.5-liter 4-cylinder pushing 328 horsepower, paired with a new 8-speed automatic. Inside, it got a massive 17.7-inch touchscreen, while the exterior adopted a tougher, more truck-like design that looks far more aggressive than before. Production kicked off in February 2024, fresh off the assembly line, and that's when problems started. Consumer Reports quickly lowered its rating after serious transmission issues began showing up almost right away. By June 2024, just 4 months into production, GM released a service bulletin citing out-of-spec clutch components that required full transmission replacements. Another bulletin followed in November, addressing damaged turbine shaft seals that led to fluid leaks. Then in January 2025, yet another bulletin surfaced, this time for loose pump bolts causing even more leaks. One owner purchased a brand new 2024 Traverse in May, and the transmission failed at just 3,300 miles. The vehicle has been sitting at the dealership ever since, with no clear timeline for repairs and no answers from the service department. Number 6. The GMC Acadia follows the exact same pattern. For 2024, it moved into an all-new 4th generation with a full redesign. It uses the same turbocharged 4-cylinder found in the Traverse and Enclave, paired with the same 8-speed automatic. Unfortunately, it's also suffering from the same serious problems on this brand new platform. Consumer Reports dropped the Acadia to the bottom of its rankings based on early reliability data. Owners are reporting transmission fluid leaks, full transmission replacements on vehicles with less than 10,000 miles, and brake issues on top of that. Electrical components are also failing randomly, with accessories cutting out for no clear reason. The turbo 4-cylinder itself hasn't impressed either. Many owners say it gets excessively loud under load and sounds cheap, especially for a vehicle at this price point. Some have also complained that the front seats are unusually flat and lack proper support, making longer drives genuinely uncomfortable, and despite all those compromises, fuel economy sits around 20 miles per gallon. At that point, a V6 would likely deliver similar efficiency while sounding better and feeling far more refined. Number 5. The Genesis GV60 is another big disappointment. It debuted in 2023 as an all-new electric SUV and marked Genesis's first real entry into the EV space. But Consumer Reports has since downgraded its reliability rating to poor, largely because early buyers ended up paying between $52,000 and $71,000 to be part of what feels like a real-world beta test. The most serious issue centers on the ICCU, the Integrated Charging Control Unit. This component manages the entire charging system, and when it fails, the vehicle simply can't charge. At that point, you're left with an extremely expensive decoration sitting in your driveway. A major recall was issued covering nearly 100,000 Hyundai and Genesis electric vehicles tied to this exact defect. When the ICCU is damaged, it can stop charging the 12-volt battery, which in turn can lead to a complete loss of driving power. Owners have reported situations where the vehicle suddenly shuts down, even while driving at highway speeds, an especially alarming failure for a brand new EV. Number 4, the Ford Explorer is another surprising entry on this list. Its 6th generation debuted in 2020 and received a light refresh for the 2025 model year. This is one of the best-selling 3-row SUVs in America, widely used by families and even chosen by police departments as patrol vehicles. You see them everywhere. So why is Consumer Reports calling it unreliable? The issues are extensive. Owners have reported transmission problems, failed climate system compressors that leave the vehicle without air conditioning during summer heat, and driveline vibrations severe enough to shake the entire SUV. And then there's the suspension, leaking struts that literally drip fluid onto the pavement. The turbocharged 4-cylinder engine doesn't help matters. It sounds harsh, raspy, and unrefined, while the 10-speed automatic transmission is known for rough, jerky shifts, especially at low speeds. The ride quality is stiff and uncomfortable, and fuel economy hovers around just 21 miles per gallon. Number 3, the Volvo XC60 plug-in hybrid looks incredible on paper. The second-generation model debuted in 2018 and delivers a combined 455 horsepower with seriously quick acceleration. It offers about 35 miles of electric-only range, then transitions into hybrid mode, where it averages roughly 28 miles per gallon. On the surface, that sounds like a near-perfect luxury PHEV. In reality, Consumer Reports has given it a poor reliability rating due to major problems with the high-voltage battery system. These aren't small software hiccups. These are significant electrical failures in a plug-in hybrid. When something like that goes wrong, the vehicle can become completely unusable, turning a very expensive SUV into a paperweight. Reports include electric motor issues, drive system failures, climate control systems shutting down, and a ride quality that's stiff and uncomfortable, an odd flaw for a luxury vehicle. Consumer Reports previously recommended the XC60 PHEV as a strong option in the segment, but has since reversed course and labeled it unreliable. That's a serious downgrade. And it's important to remember that Consumer Reports doesn't base these conclusions on a handful of complaints. Their ratings come from large-scale owner surveys involving hundreds of thousands of vehicles. So when they flag high-voltage battery problems on the XC60 plug-in hybrid, it's because the issue is showing up repeatedly across multiple owners. With a starting price of $61,150, that's a lot of money for a vehicle Consumer Reports says you should avoid. Number 2, the Chrysler Pacifica has been around since its 2017 redesign, and at this point, it's struggling across nearly every category Consumer Reports tracks. The list of issues is long and serious. Owners are reporting transmission failures, engine stalling, steering and suspension problems, climate system breakdowns, electrical accessories failing, interior and exterior hardware coming loose, brake issues, malfunctioning infotainment systems, and persistent noises and fluid leaks. That's not one or two weak spots. That's almost every major system in the vehicle showing trouble. One owner on Edmunds shared a particularly alarming experience. Their 2024 Pacifica suddenly shifted itself into park after just 380 miles and refused to move. The brakes locked up, the steering wheel locked, and the vehicle completely shut down. With 2 young children in the car, the owner said they're now genuinely afraid to drive it. For a minivan that starts at $43,945 and is marketed as a family hauler people rely on every day, that level of unreliability is simply unacceptable. Number 1. And taking the number 1 spot as the worst offender is the Chrysler Voyager. Introduced in 2020, the Voyager is essentially a budget, stripped-down version of the Pacifica. It shares the same platform and engineering, which unfortunately means it also inherits the same problems and in some cases, even worse reliability scores. Consumer Reports data shows owners dealing with transmission issues, steering and suspension failures, brake problems, glitchy in-car electronics, along with widespread noises and fluid leaks. It's effectively the Pacifica with fewer features, but none of the reliability problems were fixed. At a starting price of $40,895, you're paying for a minivan that's far more likely to be sitting at the dealership than parked in your driveway. That's why it earns the number 1 spot on this list.